I like this movie. It's okay. This was my second time seeing it. I saw it once last summer. Had really low expectations, but ended up being pleasantly surprised by it. It is your stereotype teen road trip movie, but it has some clever comedy writing and some surprises that actually makes it worth watching. This second time, it didn't really hold up. But when you knew what was gonna happen, like I did, it dragged on a lot in between a few laugh out loud moments that were left. If I wasn't doing the movie club, I would probably have shut it off halfway through. Like I said, it's your stereotypical road trip movie. You got the nice guy virgin who thinks he can score with his pen pal if he goes on a road trip. Then there's the man whore best friend who ends up falling in love. And then of course it's the female friend who he ends up with in the end. You also have the meathead friend, in this case the older brother. And obviously a lot of topless girls with fake tits. Hell, it even has one of those morning boner / jizz scenes that every fucking movie like this tries to rip up after the sock scene in American Pie. It just wasn't good enough. And there are plenty of moments like that in the movie where they try to replicate scenes from other road trip movies, but it doesn't feel as genuine or as original. The one thing that does make the movie bearable is not the sex, it's not the storyline, but it's the comedy. Like when Seth Green rolls up in his dune buggy, he plays an Amish mechanic, and he plays a real asshole, which we knew he could do really well before from the TV series The 70s Show and Entourage. And really he was one of the high points in the movie, one of the few good actors. The meathead older brother is also pretty funny, with his no fat chicks vanity plates and lines like, "You're 18 and you never even had a girlfriend? That's how people end up gay!" If you don't buy the whole storyline with the hooking up and losing the virginity and the romance part, then the real guy who really keeps the movie going and worth watching is Clark Duke. You know, the dude that played the kid in Hot Tub Time Machine and the best friend in Kick-Ass. He stands for most of the whoring around and most of the jokes, and really is the guy who keeps action around throughout the movie, while the guy who's supposed to be the protagonist really is just there to make it seem like a movie not full of dick jokes and topless girls. I guess the movie tries to use the internet as its gimmick to make it seem different than older road trip movies, like how they got the chat windows rolling down the screen, the use of Google Maps and lines like, "This is a fucking written invitation from the internet to your dick." But it doesn't really get all the way there. It doesn't really reach the level of fun that movies like Eurotrip and American Pie does, partly because it doesn't really ever shock you. I wouldn't recommend anyone watching it more than once, but if you haven't seen it before, it's a decent way to kill an afternoon.